Shalom, and welcome to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul, your Biblical Hebrew podcast. Good morning and welcome to our Biblical Hebrew podcast. Today I would like to speak to you about the Wonder Woman in us. In Proverbs 31, verse 10, the Bible mentions in Hebrew the term for Wonder Woman. In Hebrew, Eshet Chayil. Eshet Chayil. Who is the Wonder Woman in us? The soul. The soul is a Wonder Woman. For once the soul is leading the body, wonders can happen for men and for women, because the soul is something that everybody shares. This chapter of Proverbs describes many actions or abilities that the Wonder Woman in us is capable of. One of them is verse 21. I shall read the Hebrew and translate it into English. לא תירא לביתה משלג. She will not worry or be afraid from snow. כל ביתה לבוש שנים. Because all of her household is dressed with shanim. Shanim can be referred both to the color scarlet, which is shani in Hebrew, and also refers to years, shanim. Shana is a year in Hebrew, and shanim are years. And I will explain both ways. What is the snow in us? What is the red color in us? What are the years inside of us, and so on. In the North Hemisphere, we all experience late autumn and the beginning of winter. In certain countries, there is already snow, and the snow is white. Here, the Bible does not just describe an external surrounding of cold days, or snow, or white color. This is an allegory. Snow refers to frozen situations in our life in which we cannot act. We cannot make a move. In cold winter days, when temperature drops nicely below zero, our ability to move in the snow is limited. And this is a parable. There are situations in life, sometimes years, that our ability to move from some kind of reason or to act is limited, is frozen. And here, King Solomon, who wrote the book of Proverbs, tells us or advises, the Wonder Woman in us, the human soul, is not afraid or does not fear frozen situations in life in which we cannot act or move forward. Why? And the explanation comes at the rest of the verse. כי כל ביתה לבוש שנים. Because all of our household is dressed with scarlet. Scarlet, so to speak, is the color of red. But the letters here are speaking about two situations, singular and plural. Shani is singular, and it means red. Shani also refers to the term in Hebrew tola'at shani. Tola'at shani. Tola'at in Hebrew means a worm. The power of the silkworm is to weave certain fibers and to create silk threads. In the same manner, why shouldn't we be afraid from frozen situations in our lives? Because we have the ability in our mouth, which is like a silkworm. We have the ability to speak, and our speech, when it's taken outside of our mouth, is like a silk thread. Silk in Hebrew, meshi, meshi, mem, shin, yod. But when we write those letters in different order, we get the word shmi, meaning my name. So, what does Solomon try to tell us here? The soul is not afraid from frozen situations in our life when we cannot act out or take plans into action. Why? Because we have the ability to speak. Once we have the ability to speak, we are creating with our words dressing, scarlet dressing, or silk dressing. We are creating tunnels or dressings that people can come and wrap themselves in those clothes. People can come and warm their frozen situation in life with those words, with those stories. And another reference in the book of Daniel chapter 10, the name of Michael, the great minister or prince, is mentioned. Michael. According to the book of Zohar, Michael is the great minister or has a lot of capabilities. And the question is why? The answer is simple. Michael or Angel Michael is also named worm, tola'at. Like the worm, which has the power in her mouth to weave threads or fibers, Michael, the great minister, has the ability to speak, and by his speech, he can protect. The Greek word for a guardian, protector, is epitropos. In Hebrew, apotropos. Apotropos. Pater, father, or father is the one who protects. But in cases that there is no father available, the law appointed people to be guardians. In Greek, epitropos. In Hebrew, apotropos. So Michael, the great minister, or the great prince in us, is an apotropos, is a guardian. He can protect by opening his mouth and speak. So what did we learn today? The Wonder Woman in us is the human or the divine soul. And the divine soul is not afraid from frozen situations in our life in which we cannot move, cannot play, cannot act, because her dressing, the way she thinks, specifically in frozen situations in which we cannot act or move out, we can speak and tell stories and communicate, and while doing so, we can create new worlds, new life, new channels for people to dwell in. And in this manner, a similar motive we find in the speech of Daniel in chapter 10. The power of Michael as a protector, as a guardian, as an apotropos, epitropos, is to protect via his speech, like a silkworm that her power is in her mouth. And while we speak, we create tunnels of his name, and his name can protect or guard any situation in our lives, because his word is unconditional love. This was our little conversation for today. We wish you a beautiful day and wonderful week. Thank you for listening to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, comments, or would like to hear more about a certain topic, just write us an email to hebrew@learnoutlive.com. We are always happy to hear from you. For more episodes, videos, and articles like this, please visit our website at hebrew.learnoutlive.com. We also would like to invite you to join our live classes. Just search for Online College of Biblical Hebrew on Facebook and start learning now with students from all over the world. Koltuv and Shalom.